Pax Romana begins, how Augustus brought 200 years of peace. When the dust settled after decades of civil war, betrayal, and political bloodshed, one man stood at the helm of the Roman world, Augustus. But instead of plunging the Republic into further chaos, he ushered in an unprecedented era of stability and prosperity. This was the beginning of the Pax Romana, Latin for Roman peace, a period of relative peace across the Roman Empire that lasted over 2 centuries, from 27 BCE to around 180 CE. So how did Augustus, once a teenage heir to Julius Caesar, become the architect of one of history's longest periods of political peace? The context: war before peace. Before Augustus, Rome was in ruins, morally, politically, and literally. The late Republic was marked by civil wars: Marius versus Sulla, Caesar versus Pompey, Antony versus Octavian, assassinations, Julius Caesar, countless senators, political enemies, mob violence, and political corruption. By the time Augustus, then Octavian, defeated Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, the Roman people were exhausted. They didn't just want a leader, they wanted stability. Augustus delivered it. 1. A new political order, empire in all but name. In 27 BCE, Augustus restored power to the Senate and styled himself as Princeps' first citizen, not king or dictator. But this was a political illusion. Behind the scenes, he controlled the military through Imperium Majus, held tribunician powers, allowing him to influence legislation, filled the Senate with loyalists, and influenced all key decisions. Augustus created a stable autocracy, while preserving the illusion of a republic. This clever balance allowed institutions to function without challenging his authority. 2. Securing the borders. Peace through strength. Augustus knew peace could not last without security. He professionalized the Roman military, creating a standing army loyal to the emperor, stationed legions in strategic provinces like Gaul, Syria, and Egypt, built a system of defensible frontiers, including the Rhine and Danube rivers, disbanded potentially rebellious armies, and rewarded veterans with land and pensions. Rome's enemies were pushed back, and its borders were secured, creating a stable environment for trade and development. 3. Economic revival and infrastructure growth. With peace came prosperity. Augustus reformed the tax system, cutting out corrupt tax collectors, publicani, created a state treasury, aerarium militare, to fund the army and infrastructure, improved roads, aqueducts, and ports to encourage trade, revived cities in the provinces, promoting Romanization and integration. As a result, commerce flourished, cities grew, and Roman citizens, especially in the provinces, benefited from the peace. 4. Propaganda and the image of peace. Augustus masterfully shaped his public image as the bringer of peace and prosperity. The Aere Pass's altar of peace was built to commemorate the stability he had achieved. Coins, statues, and public monuments showed Augustus as a savior and restorer of Roman values. Poets like Virgil and Horace were commissioned to write works celebrating Augustus's reign, for example, the Aeneid. This propaganda not only legitimized his power, it linked peace directly to Augustus himself, reinforcing his indispensable role in Rome's new golden age. 5. Social reforms to reinforce order. Augustus believed peace could only last if society was morally strong, so he passed laws encouraging marriage and childbirth among the Roman elite, penalized adultery and immoral behavior to restore traditional Roman values, reinforced the idea that Rome was not just powerful, but virtuous. Though not all these reforms were popular, they were part of his broader vision, a disciplined, orderly society under strong leadership. Conclusion: peace with a purpose. The Pax Romana wasn't just the absence of war, it was a carefully constructed political system, backed by military force, economic strength, and social engineering. Augustus didn't just end conflict, he built a new order that allowed the Roman Empire to thrive for generations. The peace he created wasn't perfect, and it certainly wasn't democratic, but it worked. For over 200 years, Rome remained largely free of internal conflict, allowing its culture, economy, and infrastructure to flourish across 3 continents. Augustus promised peace and delivered an empire.